In today's world of Chinese animation, or Donghua, there's no shortage of series based on cultivation novels. But despite the flood of titles being released, many of them face heavy criticism for straying too far from their source material. Whether it's excessive editing, watered-down content, or shallow adaptation choices, audiences are quick to call out what feels off. Yet amid all this, one Donghua stands out from the rest: Renegade Immortal. Even though it too made some changes during its adaptation, such as replacing certain characters or tweaking specific plot points, it has still managed to receive widespread acclaim. So the question is, why is Renegade Immortal getting rave reviews while so many others fall short? Let's dive into the reasons behind this rare success. First, let's look at what truly sets the story apart. Unlike many cultivation series that follow a predictable, almost formulaic path, Renegade Immortal goes against the grain. At its core is Wang, a protagonist who isn't born with overwhelming talent. He's not chosen by fate. He's not the favored son. In fact, quite the opposite. He's looked down upon, dismissed, even disrespected by his own family. And then tragedy strikes. But instead of retreating, instead of enduring humiliation and trying to climb slowly to power the way most cultivation heroes do, Wang takes fate into his own hands. He strikes back. He seeks revenge. He transforms his grief into strength. This anti-routine setup brings a refreshing twist to the genre. It offers something raw, something bold, and something deeply human. For an audience used to overly polished, godlike main characters, Wang's journey feels gritty, emotional, and powerful. But it's not just the action or rebellion that draws people in. Renegade Immortal is a story that balances deep emotion with high stakes. From the pain of losing his family to the unbreakable loyalty he shows toward his closest companions, the emotional threads are intricately woven. Viewers find themselves moved by Wang's sense of justice, his sacrifices, and his inner struggles. It's not just about cultivating strength, it's about protecting those who matter, honoring the past, and staying true to who you are, even as you evolve. These emotional layers don't just decorate the story, they define it. They make the characters relatable, the choices meaningful, and the outcomes impactful. And that's something many other Donghua simply gloss over. Now let's talk about production, a huge reason why Renegade Immortal stands tall in a crowded market. From the first episode, it's clear that this isn't a rushed, low-effort adaptation. The visuals are crisp, vivid, and immersive. Whether it's the towering peaks of a cultivation sect or the quiet, dim moments of sorrow and solitude, each frame feels intentional. There's a clear dedication to quality, from the backgrounds to the effects. And when it comes to battle scenes, there's no shortage of excitement. The action is fluid, dynamic, and impactful. It doesn't rely on cheap flashes or recycled movements. Instead, every confrontation feels alive, full of tension and rhythm. The animators manage to strike a perfect balance between realism and spectacle, making the audience feel every blow, every clash of energy, every moment of danger. In short, the production team isn't just animating a story, they're bringing it to life in a way that captivates viewers from start to finish. But production value isn't everything. What really takes Renegade Immortal to the next level is the relationship between the creators and the fans. In an industry where many studios push out content without a second thought for audience feedback, Renegade Immortal does something different. The creators, the screenwriters, the directors, the producers, they actually listen. After each episode drops, they dive into the comments section. They interact, they respond, they acknowledge both praise and criticism, and more importantly, they take feedback seriously. This two-way conversation builds trust. It makes the audience feel seen, heard, and respected. Fans aren't just passive viewers here, they become part of the creative process. And that kind of relationship isn't easy to build. It's even harder to maintain. But Renegade Immortal manages to do it with sincerity and consistency. And that's something audiences never forget. Let's talk about characters, because this is another area where the Donghua truly shines. Wang isn't just another power-hungry cultivator chasing immortality. He's a man shaped by trauma, by experience, by loss and loyalty. He doesn't hesitate when it comes to confronting enemies. He's decisive, even ruthless when the situation calls for it. But at the same time, he's deeply emotional. He values relationships. He remembers kindness. And he never forgets the people who stood by him when no one else did. His madness, as some call it, isn't recklessness, it's conviction. It's that iron will to never bow down, no matter how overwhelming the odds. And this blend of emotional depth and unshakable determination makes him a character that audiences don't just admire, they feel connected to. And let's not forget the supporting cast. Unlike many series where side characters feel one-dimensional or purely decorative, Renegade Immortal gives even its secondary figures their own arcs, personalities, and motives. They aren't just tools for the protagonist's growth. They're fully realized individuals with dreams, fears, and choices that shape the story in meaningful ways. This kind of character writing doesn't just enrich the plot, it makes the entire world feel alive. Lastly, we need to look at the broader market context. Right now, there are plenty of cultivation-themed Donghua out there. Some have flashy trailers, some have big-name studios behind them. But how many truly deliver? Audiences today are smarter than ever. They don't just want special effects or epic battles, they want substance. They want stories that move them, characters that grow, themes that resonate. Renegade Immortal taps into this need perfectly. It doesn't try to be trendy or overly commercial. It simply focuses on doing justice to the story with excellent production, strong writing, emotional depth, and fan engagement. And in doing so, it fills a gap in the market that many other series fail to address. It has managed to carve out a space for itself, not through gimmicks or marketing, but through consistent quality and heartfelt storytelling. That's why it has an edge. That's why it stands out. And that's why it continues to attract praise and build a loyal fan base week after week. So in the end, while many Chinese animations today fall victim to rushed adaptations and shallow edits, Renegade Immortal has taken a different path. It respects the source material, even with a few necessary changes. It values its audience, not just as viewers, but as collaborators. It builds a world, not just with visuals, but with meaning, emotion, and soul. And that's what makes it more than just another Donghua. That's what makes Renegade Immortal a series worth watching and remembering. If you've already seen the show, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with these points? Or do you have your own reasons why Renegade Immortal stands out? If you haven't watched it yet, maybe now's the time to dive in. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you enjoyed this breakdown. More amazing Donghua content is on the way, so stay tuned.